Remember, today we're going to be talking about wait a second, I had things set up here. Why no video? Okay. Okay. We are good. We're going to talk about what Spirit wants to tell you, what Spirit wants to talk to you about. So what we want to do is talk about what Spirit wants to talk to you about. And I have a lot of clients, a lot of people will tell me, Lewis, what does Spirit want to tell me? And we have to really realize that sometimes Spirit just wants to talk to us. They just want to talk. They want to be part of our vibration, speak to us. And we have to learn their language. It's like how Spirit connects to us, how Spirit works with us. So it's learning how to speak to them, learning how to talk to them, how to speak to Spirit. And that's by practice, but it's also by listening to the vibration that Spirit's trying to speak through us. I always thought this, but I do work as a medium. When I do work as a medium or connected to Spirit, I have this whole vibration of understanding what are they trying to tell me? And then I have to kind of decipher what they're trying to propel towards me when I'm trying to read. Because I know we want to try to make that perfect connection, that perfect vibration with Spirit. But a lot of the times it's just like this hit and miss, trying to figure out exactly how they're trying to communicate with us. And that's when I talk about the psychic alphabet, the psychic vibration of alphabet. So because there's a lot of symbols and different things will appear in your head, giving you information that Spirit's working with you because they're trying to tell you something, trying to propel something towards you. You might see something in your mind's eye, or you feel or you sense something around you, and that's Spirit trying to get your attention. So a lot of it is more of listening to the symbols, the vibrations coming through. But why does Spirit really want to talk to us? And I have a little thing when I was working with my guide, when I'm working with my guide Lucerne. And how Lucerne explains this whole vibration of how they work with us is why they work with us is because when we enter this earth plane, when we exit the spirit set of life, we enter here and to live our life here, to incarnate on this earth plane. We're born on a meridian, a line that stretches out into infinity. It is through different realms of the spirit world, and we're standing on that line when we're born. And when we pick that vibration, that time level, that time space, to appear on that line, that connection to the whole, because we're standing on that meridian, that vibration, that vibrational line. And as long as we're there, and we've already decided that through our childhood, when we're going to move, when we're going to change, when we're going to do, those are figured out from us through our parents or through Spirit, is when we move off that line. But we stay on that line through our lifetime until we're ready to move to a different line, to a different meridian, a different focus, a different vibration. So we stay on that line, and we affect that meridian all the way out into infinity. As we stand on, now we can do our part, and now there's other people standing on that line too. There could be hundreds and thousands of people standing on that specific meridian line, which are at least sending energy out through the different realms of the spirit world. Now we're done standing on that line. We're done finishing that line. We move to a different meridian. That's when we move in our life. We move halfway across the country. We move somewhere else. We place ourselves somewhere else because we're called there. We're called to be there. And we affect that meridian line until Spirit says, okay, you're done here. Let's move to the next one. Or they move us back to the spirit world. But we're always standing on a meridian line. We're always standing on one, whether we realize it or not. We're standing on that energy center, that energy vibration that affects the whole. And as Spirit works with us, they're trying to give us the information we need to affect our lives in a very extremely positive nature, but they're also trying to get our attention to ward off the craziness in our lives. So, I tell people sometimes we end up to a path in our lives. There's two paths, and one's more scenic, and one is in through Crazyville. And sometimes we decide we want to go Crazyville, so we head off in that direction, and then it throws our vibration off. We still affect the line, but it affects us in a way that doesn't really affect the line in a bad way, but it affects us and our movement in our lives. So we always have to kind of pay attention of what they're trying to explain to us, because we'll move. If Spirit wants us somewhere, they will move heaven and earth to place us there. They will do everything in their power to get us somewhere else if we're needed in a different energy field, a different vibration, a different meridian. If we're needed there, they will move heaven and earth to place us there, to place us in that vibration. And whether we think, oh my God, I moved here all by myself, this is why I got here. No. Spirit has a way of connecting us to that vibration and getting us there. And because there are people in our lives that we have to meet, we have to connect to, we have to be part of their vibration to affect the whole or affect the energy field. So people, different situations will appear in our lives to get our attention, to move us to where we personally need to be. So if we're watching or paying attention, doesn't mean you have to completely nuts with yourself trying to watch, but be observant of what's going on around you. Be observant of what Spirit's trying to show you. Because if you don't, Spirit's going to say, okay, you're not paying attention, so we're going to go ahead and fix this. I have individuals that appear in a hospital. They're in a hospital bed. They're laying in a hospital bed. They're not moving. They can't do what they feel like they need to do. Spirit has told you to stop. And sometimes Spirit will knock your feet out from under you, stop you. Sometimes that's either through an illness, through a vibration, something within your life, to stop you on the path. It's never a life lesson, never a life challenge for you. It was to get your attention, to allow you to take a moment to move forward, to get yourself to where you personally need to be. So you have to allow yourself to find that passion within your life, the passion. Love what you do and do what you love. And if you aren't, then kind of start directing that thought towards your guides, allowing them to know what you personally would like to expect. I tell people, you might be standing on the meridian line. You might be standing on this line that goes out to infinity. But what if you could actually really enjoy your presence within that line? Not be miserable, not be tired, not be exhausted, not be disturbed, but enjoy that movement within that vibration. I have a long thing with Lucerne. He's been working with me for many years, Lucerne. And his idea is that through every single lifetime, every single incarnation, every single time that your vibration has been awakened, it is part of your cells. It is that memory, that vibrational memory that floats from different realms, different dimensions, different places of existence. It actually vibrates within your cells within this lifetime. You carry all that memory from every existence, from every vibration that you've ever been. And if you allow yourself to really truly understand that you have more power than you could ever imagine of explaining and talking to Spirit, allowing them to speak to you. You are actually speaking through every lifetime, every incarnation, every place of existence, every place of remembrance in your life. You affect that. So if you allow yourself to believe that you're more powerful than you could actually imagine, guess what would happen in your life? You would allow your guides to work with you. I have a thing I tell people that I'd probably be the best patient of a psychiatrist because I listen to the voices in my head and I do what the voices in my head tell me to do. So I listen. I listen to what they explain to me and what they tell me to do and allow them to maneuver me in a way. Sometimes I fight them. Sometimes I argue with them. I say, no, I don't want that. But eventually, I come around to center, because it is when the guides start to say, okay, you better go do this, or we're going to change your life. We're going to change your vibration. People know that I've been pastor of the church out here in Casadega for a long period of time. I've been pastor here. And then the last few months, my guides say, you need to go, you need to go, you need to stop, you need to go, you need to go. Then it started getting, I said, no, they need me out here. They need me. They need me to take care of the place. And then all of a sudden I realized, after a few weeks, Spirit started moving things and rearranging things. And they're saying, well, we really need you to go on to do something else now. And I finally realized that, and that's by stopping pastor out here, allowing the other people to be pastor. And people stood up. They're going to be pastor. They're going to run the church. And I get to go on recess. I call it recess. I mean, I get to go play out on the field. I told a lady today that I said, sometimes we're stuck in a classroom. We're teaching, we're instructing, we're helping, we're encouraging, we're blessing people with our presence. And then we're able to go out on recess. There's no sense of us being in a room or teaching, instructing, and being to be disembodied in situations in our lives, make ourselves miserable, because we will not be able to get out of the room to go on recess. We won't be able to make it out of the room. And then we make ourselves miserable for years and years until we eventually realize that we can move to be there where we need to be. We have to allow ourselves to believe that we deserve it. When I was young and I was ill, I had a guide. Rampa is J.C. Knight, and people either know Rampa or they don't. But I listened to Rampa one time explain that in some lifetime, some incarnation, in some place, in some distant realm, in some distant place, you are extremely healthy. You are extremely wealthy. You had extraordinary relationships in your life. You had all these things. And if you believe that you've always had those things, you can achieve those and bring them into this lifetime. That's when I started believing that I was perfectly healthy. I was connected to a higher realm, a higher connection. I brought that energy into my life. And when I had, my life went into remission, and it hasn't returned. But the question is I believed it. I truly, absolutely believed it. And some people will get online and be online and say, Louis, I don't know how you get that. I don't know how I can truly believe that. It's not through one day I just believed it. I started the repetition of trying to work on that to believe it. I put Post-it notes on the bathroom telling myself I was perfectly healthy from a different realm. I would visualize. I would work on visualization to get myself there. I would listen to them. And usually your guides will come through with information to help you, to encourage you. I'm not one of those mediums that believe that there's negativity and craziness all around us and they're just trying to grab hold of us and make our life miserable. They're not. We don't have guides and people in our lives, miserable, negative people attached to us, unless we allow them to be here, unless we allow them to appear in our vibration and stay there. We, as our individuals, as I said, we're more powerful than we can imagine. If we're more powerful than we can imagine, then we have the power to address and propel anything we need in our lives. We have to believe that we can do it. And we have to allow our guides to go find it for us and believe that they have our best interest at heart. If you tell your guides it's your best interest and you go, well, I don't believe that. I always tell people, always remember, when you're talking to individuals, when you're talking to your higher self, you should take time in your life. You should take time in your vibration. Time. Sit down somewhere in your home. Get quiet. Make a list if you need to. And then voice out loud what you feel like you would love in your life. Then get yourself quiet and listen what your inner voice is telling you. What is it telling you? What is this inner body, this vibration that you're in at this moment? What is it telling you? And that's what you try to change. You try to change that vibration and get it on the same page is what you're personally asking for. If you ask for a lot of money, you need prosperity in your life, but your first thought after you say that is that, I probably aren't going to get that. I'm probably not going to get that money. I'm probably not going to get it right. No, because you're having two voices in depth in the spirit world. That's what you're telling your guides. You're telling them two different things, and your guides won't move. They won't go collect what you feel like you need in your life. So you have to get those two voices under control. And it took me a while to try to figure out how to get those under control. And I figured it out by voicing what I thought I needed in my life. And I listened to myself and what I was telling myself. Then on top of that, I would listen to the guides, but I also would watch what would appear in my life. If I asked to move and say, I should move, and you guys should allow me to move, then what would happen, I would see a lot of moving trucks. There would be opportunities in my life appearing in my life for me to move, to change my life, to propel myself in motion. I always tell people, a lot of us, probably people here on this line today that are listening to me, a lot of us, we're missionaries. We're scouts. We have entered this earth plane, and we are scouts for a lot of people. We're out here to cut our own path through the wilderness, and people are supposed to follow us. Or we're missionaries. We go into the village, and we take care of people, and we encourage, and we bless them with our presence, and we're there as missionaries. So you're either a scout, you're a missionary, or you're a follower. So a lot of us are missionaries and scouts. We're out ahead of people. And if we are out ahead of people, then Spirit should supply us with our needs. They should supply us with the backpack that we need, all the supplies we need for our trip into the wilderness. And it will, and every so often I do cycles in people's lives, but when we enter different cycles within our lives, they give us a backpack and they pack it for us. They pack what we need for the next part of that cycle, the next part of the journey. And we, as individuals, allow ourselves to pick that vibration and tell our guides, really need that. I really do, guys. And sometimes we don't accept it. Sometimes we don't believe that we can have it. But if we truly believe that we can have it and get that thought down, and I've been doing this for over 50 years, and I'm just getting to the point now of really truly understanding how it works, how Spirit maneuvers things within my life. And that's through affirmations, that's through visualization, that's through listening, that's through putting things in motion. And if we start teaching ourselves to visualize what we feel like we need, and sometimes we're looking at something, we can't even visualize it. We can't even visualize it in our mind's eye. Then we have to do some work and try to find out why we can't visualize it. If you visualize you want prosperity or money in your life, but you can't visualize money, then there's a blockage. There's a vibration within your life that's telling you that you're not going to be able to achieve that. Same thing with health. You can't visualize yourself healthy, then there's a blockage that you need to clear within your being to get you healthy. A lot of things in our lives, we think that, oh my God, what is Spirit trying to talk to us about? Why are they talking to us? Why are they following us? Because we're part of that part of the existence that we are standing on at this point. We're part of that meridian, that power line, that vibration that travels into infinity. And they are part of that. And we're affecting it. Think of your life as there's a bunch of people at the door signing everyone in. And they're along the meridian line. And they're running up and down that line trying to get information and trying to make sure everyone's okay. So these guides come back and forth through your vibration, making sure that you're okay. Do you need anything? You've been standing on this line for a while. Do you need anything? You need water. You need food. What do you need? What do you need to make your life comfortable while you're standing on this line affecting the energy field into infinity? What do you need? And we have to believe that we deserve it. We have to believe that we deserve them standing there helping us. But it's that psychic alphabet. I would explain to people is that getting an idea of what they're trying to tell you, whether they're trying to show you black squirrels or a fire truck or something that they're trying to show you. What are they trying, and what does that mean to you? What does that connect to you for? What does it mean to you? Then allow yourself to figure out, what that means to you and propel that in motion. We still have to do natural law. We still have to do universal law. And many years ago, I did a whole thing when The Secret came out, and people were just a law of attraction. You're just going to attract all this stuff. You're going to use the law of attraction. Get it. But the law of attraction comes with other laws that have to be put in motion before the law of attraction actually works. And that's when the miraculous things start to happen, is when we have the law of love, law of gratitude, law of cause and effect, law of attraction. We have to place these other laws in effect to actually make them all work together. We can take one law out of context, and maybe in some way, somehow, for some people, they might get that because the other laws are still in play and they didn't know that. But if we figure out to be grateful for where you were at, grateful where you are at this point in your life. You might not like where you are at this point. You might not connect to the vibration where you are, but you have to be grateful where you are at this point. You have to explain there's something in your life, something around you that you have to be grateful for. And then allow that energy to propel itself into the spirit. If you're not grateful for what spirit has brought you, they're probably not going to go out shopping or going out collecting things for you here until you are grateful for what's here. My father used to always tell me it's like having a Christmas day, and parents and everybody have bought you presents. And every present you're miserable with. You don't like them. You don't care for them. Parents are probably not going to go out and buy you more because you should have been grateful at least for one of the presents that you received. And that's why we have to kind of reassess where we are in our lives, what's going on, what's being reassessed, what's being propelled in motion. Because guides are constantly speaking to us. They are constantly propelling themselves within our lives to try to speak to us, to talk to us, whether it's loved ones, whether it's guides, master teachers, healers, message bearers, whatever it is that you're connected to in your life. If you're a healer, you probably have a lot of healing guides working with you from the different hospitals and the different places on the other side of life, the different colleges, the different places on the other side of life. There are probably healers working from those places on the other side, helping you, encouraging you as you do your work. Same thing with mediumship. There are different guides, different people on the other side that enter your life to speak to you. They're there to work, whether they were mediums, healers, mediums, psychics, people that were intuitives on this earth plane. They stand in secretion on the other side to work through you to help others. And they're part of that line, that meridian line that runs through the universe, runs through infinity. You have your own personal guides along this line. They're there. And they are working with that conscious energy of that line, of that vibrational space where you are, until you get up and move to a different line. That's when people find out that they've got different guides. Different people have arrived. Their guides have changed. Different things have changed. Yes, because you've moved to a different energy vibration, and you have to take on the guides from that vibration are now going to affect your life. Sure, you keep 3 guides that have followed you through lifetimes. Your, as I said before, your gatekeeper, your physician, and your alchemist, the one that creates things for you. You keep them. They're your core group. But the other ones will change throughout your lifetime. But that core group will stay there. But you're kind of looking at where you are at this point. Getting your feet centered and balanced where you are. And allow yourself to look off in the distance. Not what's really going on with you right now. What do you see a few years from now? What do you envision within your life? Do you envision perfect health? Then you personally, probably at that point, want to attract yourself some healing guides. Some guides that are very good at bringing health and balance within your life. Maybe you need somebody to help you through some situations within your life. You need to attract those people that have an idea about that. You see, the question is that If I'm looking for money in my life, I'm probably not going to get my cousin Alfred. Now, Alfred, he was broke his whole life. He never worked a day in his life, never had a dime or two nickels to rub together. He just kind of lived off everybody that he ever came in contact with. So I'm probably not going to ask Alfred for prosperity, because he never really wanted to achieve that in his lifetime. So I wouldn't ask him for that. I wouldn't ask somebody in my life and in my past that was completely ill, never really took good care of themselves, was always sick. Would I actually attract them in my life to bring me health and balance? You're looking for energies or asking your guides to propel your highest and best. Highest and best, your highest vibration. And listen to what arrives in your life. Now, sometimes spirits will just come walking up behind you, and they'll slap you on the back of the head and talk to you. And you'll get it right away. Boom. A lot of the times it's this whole vibration. I don't know why they do it. It's like follow the breadcrumbs. Follow the crumbs. Just follow where we're trying to lead you. And they'll keep giving you things in front of you, in front of your vibration. The cutest thing I had was I did a reading some time ago, and I told this lady, I said, you know, you're going to meet somebody, dear. You're going to meet them. Spirit will show you. Spirit will bring things in your life. And for many, many months, she saw nothing but cardinals. Cardinals everywhere. Cardinals were everywhere. And she called me and said, Louis, that must be a sign. Spirit's talking to me. There's a sign with cardinals. I said, well, you've been asking for a companion, somebody in your life. Maybe that's it. She ended up with somebody entered her life, wanted to take her on a date. His shirt, it said Cardinal Construction. That's what it said. And she said, he's the one. I'm not going to say he's the one, but you saw cardinals. Here's somebody in your life wants to take you out. They're from Cardinal Construction. So you allow yourself to watch what's appearing. And I know sometimes it's tough. We go through a lot of things in our lives. Sometimes we're so busy inside the classroom, rummaging around with our back to the audience, trying to write our own little situation on the board without taking time to turn around to see what was going on. We spend so much time with our back to the audience instead of turning ourselves around and looking at what's going on in the room. And sometimes if you're not seeing what you need at the viewpoint that you're on, turn around. It's the old saying in the Bible, repent. Repent is to turn around. So we look at different things in our lives, but we have to look at them on different vibration. What does it mean to you? Not right this minute, but what does it mean to you in 3 years down the road? What are you wanting to see? Do you still want to be unhealthy? You want to be broke? You want to be in a bad relationship? What do you see? Because you can always send your guides to your mate's guides and have them have a discussion with their guides. Send your guides to go talk to them. I love when people say, I can't get my mate or I can't get somebody to do what I want them to do. Then talk to your guides to send your guides to go talk to them. Go talk to their guides. Have a little meeting over there of guides. Because if you brought 3 guides with you, they're your master guides, and I've got my 3 master guides, they probably have some kind of connection because I met you on the path and you're standing on the same meridian line that I am because you're with me. It means that we're both on that same line. We're both affecting that energy field, that vibration for this moment. So that means that a lot of the guides that are affiliated with you are with me. So when I married my wife over 40 years ago, we're standing on the same line. And if you have a companion, a person, a situation within your life, they're on the same meridian line as you are. They've got the same people walking back and forth on that line trying to help. So you can instruct to them. Say, you know, I have somebody here that I want to get to where I need to be. And if I can, could you explain to me why? we can't get there. And then you watch. You propel in your life what you are trying to see. Spirit is supposed to take extremely good care of you. Extremely good care of you. Don't think you entered this lifetime that like, oh my God, look, I'm just going to be in service. Well, as I said, if you're going to be a missionary, if you're going to be that scout that's out in the wilderness with your little machete cutting a path through the woods for others to follow, the Spirit has to take care of you because others have to follow you. If you have to be out there taking care of all these people, to getting them to raising their vibration, to getting them to where they need to be, then Spirit will take care of you. And if you happen to be walking in the group, Spirit also will take care of you. Because we pick our movements and situations within this life. Explain to everybody, some of us, you have earned your merit badges from every lifetime. There's not a merit badge in this earth plane that you need. You've earned all of them. You've got every single merit badge that you could ever imagine. You've already earned it. From either this lifetime or a past lifetime, you've earned every one of them. So then we look for a purpose in our lives, a purpose in our life. And I love that when people say, well, what's my purpose? Why am I here? As I said, you're here either to be that missionary, the scout, or the person within the group. But we're all venturing off into the wilderness. And we're all trusting the scouts and the missionaries to get us there. But we are part of the group, that group that follows that line. Because in this lifetime, wherever you live, whatever's going on in your life, whatever happening in your life, you have certain people in your life that have followed you, that are on the path with you. They're there. They are part of your life journey. There are people on this earth plane, there are people that live probably 10 miles from you that you will never come across, you will never see, you will never talk to, you will never see them. They'll live on this earth plane and die on this earth plane without you being involved in their vibration. They're not part of your line. They're not part of this energy field. You attract the people that are going to affect where you're standing in this lifetime. So if you don't like the people that are standing where you are at this point, then maybe you need to move down the line a little bit and get a different perspective of who's there. That's it. And that's your guides will help you do that. Your guides will maneuver that vibration. But tell people if it's not a life lesson for you, or somebody in your life, you will get exactly what you're asking for. And we have to realize, what are our life lessons? What are our life challenges in our life? Or there's something that I need to look at, something I need to put in motion. I explain to people when I teach different things, if we all would just sit down once a month and quietly in our life, just get very quiet, and in our mind or out loud, just say, is there something I miss, something I should have seen, something I should have put in motion? Could you please show that to me? And get quiet. Put in the law of silence and get quiet for a moment and listen. And if they don't speak to you that way, then be watchful within the next 5 to 6 days. What has been very repetitious in your life? What are your guides trying to propel in front of you? The only reason we lose track in our lives is we allow ourselves to turn our back on the bulletin board. We don't watch what the classroom's doing. We have no intention of going on recess yet. But we're not paying attention to what's going on with us at this moment. And we're just allowing other people to direct our vibration. Not everybody in your life that you think, oh my God, that's a life lesson, that's a life challenge, I need to do that. Not everybody's life lesson or life challenge is our vibration. Sometimes we get stuck on journeys in our life. I love it when I tell people that it's like sometimes we go off-road. Most times in our lives, we're not made for off-road travel. We're not made for it. We're not made to go off-road out into some kind of situation and then allow ourselves to try to pull ourselves back to our path. Sometimes we venture off into these directions in our lives, knowing mentally and physically we should not go there. But we believe that there is a merit badge that we need to get in that direction. But we don't really need it. But we venture there anyway. Against all our clear thinking, we go there. And we eventually get back to path, but through a lot of toils and stuff that we never really had to go through, we eventually get back ourselves to the path. But remember, if you leave the path that you're on, you will not re-enter the path down the road. You will not. You will re-enter the path exactly where you left it. That's where you have deja vu. It's happened again. Situations are exactly again. All of a sudden, here we are again. It's the same vibration because you re-entered the path where you left it. So if you have to leave the path, you have to go somewhere, you have to affect something here within this future vibration, allow yourself to say, oh my God, do I really need this? And I'm saying, for 3 years in the future, or 5 years in the future, would this, what you're propelling in your life, be good for you? And that's what you're allowing your guides to talk to you about. They're trying to divert you from trouble. They're trying to divert you into a situation in your life that's going to be very comfortable for you. But we fight them all the time. We decide that we should fight. We should, oh my God, we're not going to do that. When that is the best thing that we could do, but we keep telling ourselves that possibly we don't deserve it. You remember things that you think that were so bad in your life that, oh my God, Lou, if you just knew what I was going through in my life, what has happened in my life. What if that things that you had gone through, that vibration, that connection, that situation within your life was really never a life lesson for you? It was never that connection for you. You were that scout cutting through the wilderness so people could follow you. You were there to help them, to encourage them, to bless them with your presence. It was never a life lesson for you, but you happened to be there. Sure, you got a little cut and scrape as you were going through the bushes trying to cut a path for everyone to follow, but it was okay with you because you were there to help them. It was never your life lesson. So sometimes we have to let things go. It doesn't matter what's happened before. It doesn't matter. All we can do is affect today, right this moment, of what direction we go in now. It doesn't matter what's happened before. Maybe we went off path. Maybe we went off on a journey. But it doesn't matter. Today, right this minute, today, as we do this vibration, it doesn't matter. It's where you head now. It's where your thought pattern is now. Because that thought pattern, within a 3-week period, is what you're going to be envisioning on your path. So it's where your thought pattern is. It's where that vibration of thought is and where it's actually taking you. Listen to yourself. I tell people we're more intelligent than we can actually imagine. We have that connection. Our higher self is always connected to the spirit world. We always have that spiritual connection to the spirit world. Whether we have that on speed dial or not, we know we're connected. It is this body that keeps moving down the path. But sure, you can help people. I'm telling you, you can help, encourage, and bless people on their journey. But doesn't mean that they get to take you completely off your journey and make your life miserable. Allow yourself to be more responsible for yourself and be better to yourself as you move down the path. Understanding that you can help multitudes of people, but you can affect them or put them in motion in your life in a clear connection and a different view on the path. Doesn't mean you have to travel at their viewpoint. Travel a viewpoint that works for you. And if you do that, people that are at that viewpoint, if they really want to, will join you at a different viewpoint to see a different view of their life. Doesn't mean you have to get down on their viewpoint and say, oh my God, we're going to follow you, dear. And they're jumping off the edge of a cliff. Doesn't mean that you get to go follow them. They should follow you. Especially if you're a scout or a missionary. So allow this energy by meditating, by getting quiet, by understanding. Not everyone's going to be a medium. Not everyone's going to be connecting to that vibration. But you can raise your vibration for your guides. They're attached to you. You might not talk to, oh, Louis, I haven't talked to my father. He passed away years ago, and he hasn't come to me. Well, maybe you're not connected in that wavelength to get to your father. But you have 3 guides. They've signed up for the journey. Signed up. They're like your compadres on your journey. They signed up for you. And they're going to be there through your whole life encouragement here. And they're going to be the ones who are going to bring you water, supplies, all the things you personally need that you need in this lifetime to get you down the path. And they will try their best to get it to you. That's why we change our mind thought. That's why we change our vibrations with our lives to get ourselves to where we need to be. We must go into silence every once in a while to listen to what our vibration is telling us. By going into silence and just listening to what we're telling ourselves, then we're allowing ourselves to adjust it. And allowing our guides to adjust it. When I had things happen in my life and negative people and situations, I would ask my guides, I said, is this good for me? Is it good for me? Do I need to follow this path? Is this something I personally need to do? And I would get quiet and listen to myself. And I would either hear a yes or a no. I would understand whether I should go there or not. And then if you get to a point in your vibration that you don't really understand, like, oh, Louis, I didn't really get that. I'm going to go try to do this. And we get off on the path. We head. And all hell is breaking loose. We can't get there. It's just a mess. Everything's just going to hell in a handbasket. But we're still trying to make it happen. Oh, it's when we back away. Back away. Spirit will stop you from making drastic mistakes in your life. Back when I first started doing readings years ago, some lady wanted to buy a piece of property in the Bahamas. I heard her guide yell as loud as he could, no. And I told her, no. Your guides don't like that. Oh, God, they don't like that. And she said, well, I'm going to go buy it anyway. I'm going, okay. But they said, no, they yelled. They were very adamant with that situation. But she got on the plane, flew to the Bahamas. Got out of the plane. The ramp off the plane broke. She fell to the tarmac, broke her leg. She ended up in the hospital. She calls me from the hospital bed. She goes, what do you think, Lou? I said, guides are trying to stop you, darling. You need to stop. They don't want you buying that piece of property. She gets the leg all bandaged up, and she gets a cast on it, gets in a cab. She's going out to see the property. What's the cab do? Has an accident. Has an accident. She ends up back in the hospital. She broke her elbow. She's telling me she still wants to buy this property. Well, her guides are trying to kill her. I told her, so you need to stop. So she finally sent her sister out to buy it. Sister bought the property. Later on, the Bahamian government wanted the money back. There was something wrong with the property, and she lost every bit of her money on the property, and the Bahamian government took the property back, and she lost a considerable amount of money. And then she looked at me and said, I should have probably not have bought the property. Hello? Guides were trying to kill you. It's when we start moving down these paths and guides are trying to stop us, and they're doing their best to try to put up the caution tape to try to stop us from moving in that direction. But we eventually take our own vibration and go, no, we're going to go. And then it gets really dark. Eventually we start to turn around because it gets too dark for us to move any further. We have to go back towards where we came from. Now, I explain to people, it's easier to walk forwards than it is to walk backwards. So allow yourself to adjust the vibrations. You don't have to do exactly what your guides want you to do. You can adjust it. You can adjust the vibration of what they're actually propelling in motion in your life. Remember that when you're looking at situations that appear in your life. Are you happy with it? Are you connected to that vibration? Do you like what's going on in your life? And that's where your guides will speak to you. They will announce themselves in your life, continually announce themselves in your life, and get you exactly where you personally need to be. Because you have this whole connection of really truly understanding that your guides have got your back. I'm not one of those people in this work, in this spiritual work, that believe there are attachments and things attaching onto you, sucking the life force out of your energy. I do not believe that. I'm not one of those people that believe that I have to go get somebody to purge these entities away from me because they're sucking the life's blood out of me. I don't believe that. I believe that we have guides that follow us and protect us throughout our life cycle here on this earth plane. We're on the line, and we can talk to people on that meridian line that goes out to infinity, and they can help us too. So we have a lot of help here in our lives to keep us safe. The only reason that people from the spirit world are attached to us is we allow them to attach to us. We allow them to be there. We have to be in charge of the vibration and send people away. Send them away. Tell them we don't like the energy they bring with them. Send them away. And that's with the spirit world. If someone keeps bothering you from the spirit world and you go, oh my God, notice they're here, I can't get rid of them. No. Remember, what you're propelling in motion in your life is what you can do. You can have a medium help you clear some of the energy around you, but the only person at the end of the day that's going to change the vibration of what's attached to you is you. That's why you get quiet. That's why you reset the vibration in your life. That's why you tell yourself, okay, you have no business here. Be gone with you. You have to say it. I can tell them to leave, but until you mentally and physically say, you have no business here, they will not leave. They might move a little bit. I might get them away from you for a little bit, but they will not leave. They will stay within your vibration because you allow them to be here. So that's what I said when I started this class today. Take time in your life to be quiet. If there's something I need to see, something I need to put in motion, something I need to do, could you please show that to me? And if somebody arrives in your life and says, oh my God, I have these entities that moved off my life, blah, blah, blah. You talk about entities. Maybe you have something attached in and around your vibration that you have to say, I am here. If you're here for my highest and best, you are allowed to stay. If you're not here for my highest and best, please move away. Very easy. Once you say that, they will move. They will leave your vibration. You're only there because of the energy field and you allowing them to be there. Remember that. Reminds me a lot of times, my grandmother was Catholic, we had to pray people out of purgatory. Pray them out of purgatory. The only person who was going to get the person out of purgatory was the person themselves. Because remember, whatever life lessons, challenges you've had in this lifetime, you are here for a purpose to change the energy on that meridian through infinity, change the vibration of your own vibration, of changing your own energy field so that you can raise your vibration to a higher level, or you are here for the multitudes, to encourage them, to bless them on their journey, and for you to be a servant, a missionary, to collect them and their emotion. But there's a reason you are here. And sometimes the situations that happen in our lives were actually little pitfalls along the journey. But doesn't mean we have to stay on the same bumpy, unpaved road. We can move to a different, higher ground. We can still see the road. We just don't need to travel that road. So if I get something through today to individuals today, is remember that you have all the power in the universe to change your life. Spirit waits at our beck and call to help us, to encourage us. They allow you to adjust the journey. It is never the destinations in our lives. You handpicked those before you got here. You handpicked that there's certain meridians within this earth plane and the universe that you were going to affect in this lifetime. You might be living in Florida right now, and then in a year from now, you end up somewhere across the country. You don't know why you ended up here, but all of a sudden everything in your life fits and got you there. Because they needed you to affect that meridian line. So there was everything with a multitude to change your life to get you there. But as I'm trying to explain to people, when they move you, when they change your life to affect other people's vibration, awesome. But you should have a nice journey to that space. Not be dragged kicking and screaming with duct tape through the wilderness to that spot on that meridian line. You should arrive in a very comfortable situation to take your place on that line. And that's why you ask your guides. You want this in your life or better. Because all of us kind of know in our lives what we would like. What we would like to see in our lives. What we would like to propel within our lives. What would you like to see? What would you like to accomplish? That is your discussion with your guides. That is your discussion with all of your guides. Have your discussion with your guides. Have your discussion with the vibrations. I have a question. Okay. I'm trying to find the question. Hold on a second. Let's have questions. Well, I don't know whether. I don't know where the question went. Huh. But I just know that said I had a pending question. And I don't know where it went. So, but the vibration with our lives are exactly where we need. Hello? Okay. Says I have a message here, but it will not let me pick it up for some reason. I have no idea why not. I have no idea why it will not let me pick it up. So, but anyway, I want you to understand that everything's supposed to fall into place. And hopefully, that as you connect to your higher self, your higher vibration within your life, you eventually connect to that sense of consciousness. And if we allow ourselves to just be quiet, allow ourselves just to go into silence, allow ourselves to adjust the path. You don't have to argue with your guides, but you can explain to them what you would like. Because I tell people, it's not the destination, it's how you arrive. It's your free will and choice. The destinations were chosen long before you got here. You chose those of how you were going to affect consciousness. You can tell, somebody asked a question, I'm wondering about vibrations. How can you tell what vibration you are in? Is it all about how you feel? The question here is, sure, it is a lot about how you feel, but it's where you see yourself at. See, the vibration that you're in, because We all vibrate at a certain rate within our lives. We vibrate at a certain vibration. But if you're not happy with the vibration that's within your life at this moment, you can always move it to higher ground. Look at a different view of the vibration. Because we're supposed to have this connection within our lives to get us to where we need to be. This connection of understanding that Spirit's trying to propel within our lives. If we allow ourselves just to stay at the one vibration that we're not happy, we're just telling our guides, okay, we're okay here. We're just going to stay here. Or we can tell them, say, we're not good here, guys. I want to change this. And then what we do within that vibration is we have allowed them to go out and try to propel in our lives what they think would probably be better for us and allow us to accept it. That's why we changed our consciousness. That's why we listen to ourselves. That's why we change the vibration within our being to allow us to move to a different situation or a different set of vibrations. So, and everybody has a vibration in their life. I've told people before, I believe we picked our name when we were here on this earth plane. We picked it. We picked the name. Before we entered this earth plane, on the other side, there was a little board. We picked our name. We picked our place of birth. We picked it. We picked the place of birth, picked the city, state, or city and country of where we were going to be born. We picked the time of our birth. We picked that. We picked exactly when we wanted to arrive on this earth plane. And we picked our day, month, day, and year of our birth. Those we picked before we even entered this earth plane. And I learned many years ago that you add all those together. You get a numerology value of all those vibrations. Name, place, city, date of birth, time, name. You get a vibrational rate for all of those. And when you get that vibrational, you get that for those, you add them all together and have a number, whatever the number is. Then you break that number down to single digit, unless it's a master number, 11, 22, 33. You break it to single digit. And that gives you your world connection number. Gives you a connection number. That's worked with me throughout my life and worked with other people I've worked with. I'm a 6. My vibration adds up to. If I add all my stuff together, my name, my place of birth, everything in my life, I add it all together, I'm a 6. You can raise your frequencies by there are different practices that you can do with meditation. You can raise vibrations through transcendental meditation. You can raise your vibrations through connection to just being quiet. You can do all these things by adjusting that vibration. It's according to when you want to raise your vibration or different frequencies of the vibration, then you can do it through sound too. Christopher does a lot of this work through sound, through the vibration of sound, the vibration of music, by raising your vibration, by raising your frequency, and by playing crystal bowls, by playing pyramids. I have crystal pyramids that I play to raise the frequency within the space, within the room. So you have a lot of different things that what works for you, what fits the vibration for you. So it's what you propel within your own life. It's what works for you. What works for you might not work for somebody else. It might work for you, but somebody else might go, well, this doesn't quite work for me. But it clicks the right channel for you. It clicks the right vibration for you. So I hope today I brought through some information that could help and encourage encourage you on the path. And I hope you guys got something out of today about connecting to a higher frequency, at least going within the silence, listening to yourself. What are you telling yourself? So you personally can tell your guides to move you, to change this. But until you change that inner word or that inner talk, that inner vibration within you, the inner frequency that is there, and change that to a different frequency, you're never going to move forward because that frequency will still be playing in the background. It'll still be playing there, even though you're trying to move to a different vibration. It'll still move within that vibration. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that today. And next week, I check my website. next week we are going to be, next week it will be ridding yourself of negative energy. It's what we're going to be doing next week. Next week we'll be doing ridding ourselves of negative energy. And I'll be giving you some things you can use to rid yourself of negative energy and things you can do that I learned throughout my life of how to do that. So you can rid yourself of negative energy of your own, that could be happening in your own life, or negative energy of people that you are coming in contact with. So I'll give you some little things you can use next week on doing that. And I want to thank you for tuning in today and being part of this today. So I'm going to take us out of